All right, and we are back here on the GSMC football podcast or baseball podcast. Sorry, I hope I didn't say that. I'm pretty sure I said baseball. Leaving the break, I'll have to go back and listen now because I'm always in football mode because especially because we're only doing this once a week. But baseball podcast, and for the second part of the show, we are now going to discuss. Chris Sale being traded to the Braves. So this was an interesting move. I didn't expect it. The Braves, they had a 7-time All-Star in Chris Sale. The one thing I'll say is he has dealt with a lot of injuries over the past couple of seasons. So he has started in a combined 31 games since 2020. A season he missed entirely due to Tommy John surgery. There were some other injuries as well. So, so torn collateral ligament in 2020 that kept him out for most of the 2021 season. He had a right rib stress fracture in the 2022 season, put him on the 60-day injured list. Fractured left pinky finger in his second start back. Broken right wrist following a bicycle accident later in the season. Yeah, he's had a lot. And actually, I think the pinky finger injury. I think that was. I think I was at that game because that was the last game before the All-Star break. The Red Sox were playing the Yankees and Sale was starting. And yeah, I think that was. I think it was that injury. But yeah, it's been through a lot of injuries. But you know what? When he's pitched, I'm not going to say he's been great, but like he's been decent, I would say. Well, let's look at his. Let's go look at his numbers, over the last couple of seasons. Obviously, Chris Sale was one of the best pitchers in baseball at one point, but of course, as you get older, you're going to see a drop off. So we'll go back. Let's look at Chris Sale's last couple of seasons here. So last year he went 6-5, 4.3 ERA in 20 starts. ERA is a little high, of course, but again he had some decent starts in there. The year before that, only 2 games. 0-1, 3.18 ERA. 2021, 5-1, 3.16. In 9 starts. But yeah, again, this is the issue with him is health, His last really good season was actually the year they won the World Series, and that was 2018. He went 12-4, 2.11 ERA. But yeah, since then hasn't been so good. But listen, he's stepping into a rotation, with Strider, with Fried, with Elder. It's a solid rotation. So he's not going to be the main guy. He's going to be more of like a middle of the rotation, back end of the rotation guy, which I think works. So we'll see. He actually did also sign an extension. It was a 2-year extension, $38 million contract with the Braves, of course. Including an $18 million club option for 2026. The Braves feel like, he could return, he could be decent, and we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Again, I think the biggest concern is, of course, the injuries. And obviously, actually, I forgot about this because I was, looking through some articles last night. There was also like that incident he had with like I think it was with the White Sox, right? With their uniforms. I forget like what happened with that, but he just like did not like the uniforms that he had to wear. But yeah, he's had some interesting incidents that have occurred over the course of his career too, off the field. So, but listen, with the Braves, it's between them and the Dodgers as the 2 best teams of baseball, you would have to say. And I mean, I think it's a decent move for the Braves, just because, again, he really is just going to be a middle of the rotation guy. He's not going to be asked to, be the ace. He doesn't have to be, because they have the guys ahead of him that can do that. So, we'll see how it plays out. But for the Red Sox, I mean, this is also like a Red Sox topic too. But they got in return of Vaughn Grissom, who was looked at as a supposed to be a good player for the Braves, but they kind of just moved off of him. So we'll look at his stats. Pull that up on a good old Baseball Reference. So, last year, 23 games, 21 hits and 75 at-bats, no home runs, 9 RBIs, batted .280, 313 OPS, 347 slugging, 659 OPS. Well, 313 on base. Well, what did I say? Did I say OPS or before that? I think it was a 313 on base percentage. That's what I meant to say if I said OPS. 659 OPS, 78 OPS plus. That was in 23 games. In 2022, 41 hits and 141 at bats. No home runs, 5 home runs, 18 RBIs, 11 walks, 34 strikeouts, 291 batting average. 353 on base percentage, 440 slugging, 792 OPS, 119 OPS plus. So that's what the Red Sox are getting there. He's a middle infielder. So, but I don't know what the Red Sox are doing. I feel like they can, I don't know they're adding Lucas Giolito. I feel like they got to do something, but it doesn't. I don't know what else they could. There's still free agents out there. They're looking to add. I know they had interest in Jordan Montgomery, but I just don't know what their plan is. I remember I did the video on Chaim Bloom and, how, he was the main guy behind trading Mookie Betts, and, they let a lot of these guys go. They let Bogarts go, and now all of a sudden, and again, they were a competitive team last year. It's not like they were, one of the bottom teams. They were competitive, but this is, they were in a World Series contender. They were a team that wasn't going to make the playoffs. I don't know what their plan is. It really is curious. It really makes you wonder what they're doing. And people are saying they're acting like a small market team. Yeah, they're not. They're a big market team. You sign Devers to that extension, and build around him. I don't know. It's, signing Lucas Giolito, you're signing a pitcher that's just going to fill a spot in the rotation. That's not, is he going to be a game changer? I don't think so. Especially with how he pitched towards the end of last year. So, the Red Sox have had an interesting offseason. But I think it's, like I said, I think it's a decent move for the Braves. They're taking a little bit of a risk just because Sale's been injured. Has dealt with his injuries over the course of the last few years. But, again, he's not going to be the main guy of this rotation. He just has to be, middle of the rotation, back end of the rotation. That's what he has to be. And I think that works. And the Braves can take the risk because they're one of the best teams in baseball, if not the best team in baseball. At least on paper, of course. Because remember, they didn't win the World Series last year. That belongs to the Texas Rangers, their championship. Braves were the best regular season team. And they're trying to break through and, get back to the World Series, of course. And I think this definitely, helps them. I mean, they're loaded, at every position pretty much. And this definitely, they have one of the best rotations in baseball. And I've said, listen, if Sale can be decent, I mean, yeah, that only helps him. So, but like I said, we'll see how it goes. It's just like the Braves. I mean, well, I understand the Braves. I understand the trade. I mean, the Red Sox moving off of Sale, like I guess it was going to happen eventually, just because, again of how the last few seasons have gone. But again, like, you basically replaced him with Lucas Giolito, and you haven't made really any other major moves. Well, I know the other thing is they also got, not that it's really that major, but I forgot about this. They got Tyler O'Neill from the Cardinals. But again, is that gonna do anything? Does that move the needle? Not really. I don't know what they're doing. But again, I mean, being a Yankee fan, I mean, it'll be fine if they're not good, because that helps the Yankees out. But again, I mean, you go back to 2018 is going to be, well, yeah, 6 years ago. I mean, that was one of the best teams I've ever seen. Honestly, from top to bottom, that team was really good. I mean, they won 108 games for a reason. And since then, I don't know what happened. It has just been a decline since then. I mean, pretty much every player is gone from that team. I mean, you still got Devers. Is that it? No, there's gotta be other players. Maybe pitching wise. I mean, Sale's now gone. Maybe some guys in the bullpen. But yeah, I think that's it. Who else was from that team? I mean, Alex Cora obviously was the manager. But yeah, I think pretty much every player is gone, except for maybe somebody in the bullpen. Yeah, I don't. I mean, again, like, I'm a Yankee fan, so I'm not gonna sympathize with Red Sox fans, because watching them win championships in the 2010s was rough. 2013, 2018, 07. Didn't start watching baseball. I wasn't watching baseball in 04, so I don't remember any of that, thankfully. But it still hurts, even though I didn't watch it. Yeah, it's the Red Sox. Yeah, it's been rough, but hey, they've won championships a lot. They've won championships more recently than the Yankees have. Yankees haven't even got back to a World Series in years, since I was in third grade. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it when talking about this. But let me know what you guys think about the Chris Sale deal. How do you feel about it? Does this help the Braves? Does it hurt the Braves? I mean, what are the Red Sox doing? Just let me know. So before we go into our second break, I just want to remind you guys once again to tip or donate and get your comments recognized. Make sure to go to the following link. That is streamelements.com/GSMC-sportsnetwork./tip. Again, that really helps the show, makes the show more interactive between myself, the host, and you guys, the viewers. Again, that is streamelements.com/GSMC-sportsnetwork./tip. And as always, it is displayed on the ticker on the bottom of the show segment down below. So, when we get back from our second break of the show, we are going to talk about the recent news and rumors from the offseason, where some of these remaining free agents can potentially go. Pretty much what we've talked about for the last couple of weeks. But that is what we will get into when we come back from our second break of the show. So with that being said, stick around and we'll be right back here on the GSMC Baseball Podcast.